that empowers, enlightens, and informs.
Follow the leader.
Follow the leader at KBLA 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
Keep following the leader.
Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader.
You ready?
It's the queen of royal badness.
It's time for the Raw Report with Robin Ayers.
Highlighting people and things you should know about.
Robin's got you covered. Follow Robin at Robin Ayers. You're listening to the Raw Report on KBLA Talk 1580.
Robin's got a lot to talk about.
Yo. Yo.
Bobby Ray Bands, gas Pakistan, I'm about to roll up a Bobby, you gotta let this ride. Hey, this far to know that. No tell Louie, can't do what I can do. She gon' do what I say and do. She a goofy, yeah, no can do. Tell her she looked up bamboo, inside of the truck bamboo. Fuck, take off your bamboo. Bend over, get stuck bamboo. Tell her she looked up bamboo.
You're inside the Raw Report on KBLA Talk 1580, where we bring you the latest in entertainment news, trending topics, and interviews. I'm your host, Robin Ayers. Welcome inside the Raw Report. I don't know what song that is, but I'm kind of vibing to it. I don't know. Who is that?
That's that new B.O.B. Bamboo.
It's new B.O.B. I like B.O.B.
You should watch the video. It's pretty artistic. I rock with Bamboo.
Okay.
I rock with B.O.B. for sure.
B.O.B. This is called Bamboo. You know, it's one of those things. These artists are putting out music, and there's not a lot of publicity behind it or push behind it, marketing or anything.
Well, you know they hating on B.O.B.
Why? What's up?
Oh, you don't know about his career?
I don't know. I don't.
B.O.B. is very outspoken.
Yes.
And he speaks out against the industry, certain things.
Okay.
So
that's the reason why.
That's the reason, at least from my opinion. I think he's semi-blackballed. I mean, I actually found this record.
Yeah,
you know
how
what
did
I mean?
you find it?
I
Just
mean,
happenstance.
Just, my algorithm on YouTube or whatever. I was like, oh, B.O.B. got a new record. I listened to it. Oh, this is a banger.
Wow.
But, like, if I wasn't on my YouTube playlist, I would have never heard about this song. Because I was wondering where B.O.B. went. You know what I mean? I was like, yo, he was popping for a moment. But then he just fell off the map. But, before he kind of fell off the map, I remember he was speaking out against the industry and, a lot of the practices that you see behind the scenes or whatnot. So I'm not surprised that, they're probably trying to silence him and all that.
Wow. I mean, well, we've seen a lot of that, artists pushing back, artists kind of giving us the real behind the scenes on what's going on in the industry. And sometimes that actually does happen. You will start to see less of that person, or they're having a more difficult time with marketing and just people getting behind them in their projects. That is kind of wrong, but I like B.O.B. I like this record, so hopefully he does well. Hopefully he has enough of a following and people that believe in him to share his work and, songs. We'll see what happens. I like him, though. He gave me my very first really good interview on a carpet once, my very first one. So I have love. I've got love. Shout out to you guys. I see you coming through inside of our YouTube chat. It's interesting, It's interesting. I said this yesterday. There's so much going on politically that entertainment is in it. I feel like everyone. There's two things that are happening. There's obviously a lot going on in politics, as it should, but then also this shooting that recently happened with Sonia Massey. Everybody's talking about that as well, and so I think rightfully so. People where you would normally hear a lot about miscellaneous things and things that aren't necessarily as important in entertainment, we're starting to see that being replaced with some of the more important topics, which is good, which is really good. But today I have to give y'all a heads up. I'm kind of disappointed in the topics that we're talking about today. I'm glad that we have our contributor who she usually has a lot to say. She has a lot to say about different things, but this one is very disappointing in terms of black men. Not all black men, but these black men. I'm very disappointed, but we'll be talking about it. I will let you know what's up with that. But just to give you a couple of updates, happy birthday to Michelle Williams of Destiny's Child. Shout out to her, and shout out to Kim Whitley. Funny old Kim Whitley, too. It's her birthday as well, so I hope that they're enjoying themselves. Halle Berry. It's funny, I wanted to say Halle Bailey because Halle Bailey is also trending, but she's trending because she sang her beautiful, beautiful little baby a happy birthday song. It was a happy 7-month-old birthday song. I don't know if you are like those, if you felt like those other new parents who celebrate everything. I mean, they would get their kid a 4-month-old little cupcake. And I'm like, I'm not doing all of that. 1 year and then 2 and 3 and so on and so forth. But she celebrated 7 months old with her little baby Halo, and she sang him happy birthday. So she was trending today. But Halle Berry, the original Halle, she celebrated 20 years of Catwoman today. And you know what's crazy? She posted the, recent photo. She's very comfortable being nude, by the way. Her boyfriend, Van Hunt, they celebrate their nudity. Shout out to them. They're living their best lives. But she posted a photo, which is not uncommon right now, but she looks just as good. Now, of course, 20 years ago, Catwoman, she was probably training, working out, even harder, but she still works out. She still does take care of her temple, which is nice. It's really nice. And so she looks so good. Shout out to her for 20 years of Catwoman. Speaking of weight and looking good, your boy, Little Rel, a friend of mine and a friend of KBLA 1580, he just recently talked about his 5-year journey of weight loss, and truthfully, he's been putting in the work. He's been doing a lot of great work, eating better. If you all remember, his acting debut was Get Out, the movie Get Out, where he played the friend, the TSA agent, and he was a little, hefty. That was how he came out. That's how people knew him. And ever since then, he's been rocking and rolling in his career. But you saw over the past 5 years, he's been losing slowly but surely. And now he put out a post that he says this is the best he's ever looked, the best he's ever felt. And people are so negative. Everybody thinks it's Ozempic. Everybody is thinking it's Ozempic. And it's like, wait a minute. The man you've seen him, working out. He shows this on his social media. But again, it's like we can't believe it. If it looks too good to be true, we want to blame something else or give credit somewhere else. But I want to personally shout him out because I know he has been doing the work. So good for you, Rel. Madonna's son, this is interesting. He says that he's scavenging for food because he no longer lives with her. He lives with his girlfriend, but I don't know of any parent like Madonna, especially any parent anywhere who's going to allow their son or their child really to struggle, even if they are no longer in the house. He says he's scavenging for food, but he says it's fun. I don't know about that. I don't know. Was that just for clickbait? I don't know. And then don't make your mom look crazy. Don't make your mom look like she ain't out there handling her business. To me, that's what it kind of felt like. Also, Cash Doll. She is a rapper. Cash Doll recently had her second child, and she announced her breakup with her children's father. She says that people are coming at her, and they're like, why didn't you get married? Sort of bashing her for not going that route. And she's like, listen, to y'all, marriage might be everything, but I have my kids. I'm happy. I personally think she shouldn't have gone to social media. We see this far too often where people announce a breakup and then subsequently you'll see them get back together, and then you're just allowing people to say anything, be all up in your business. But more so, she just talks about the fact that it's a different world. It's a different day and age. And so many people put weight on being married before having children. And she's like, nah, like it's not like that. And as a matter of fact, it's harder to break up once you are married to someone, basically with all the documentation. And it's a business, essentially, is what she's saying. So we shall see what happens with that. It's a conversation we've talked about on this show, Andy, like just marriage and what people think about it. But anyway, she has announced her breakup, but hopefully that they reconcile, at least they parent amicably. That's what I'm hoping, at least, because I love Black families. I love when people do it well. Let's go ahead and get into the Raw Report, though, Andy.
Now it's time for a breakdown.
And this is why I'm so disappointed, okay? I'm disappointed in these topics today because the theme is disappointing Black men. I'm disappointed in these Black men. Gilbert Arenas. Gilbert Arenas, we have this audio. He is under fire for disparaging South Sudan, the basketball team that played against the Team USA. They almost won, and he had some things to say about them. And just to kind of, we'll go a little bit further into it, but just to kind of give you a heads up, Gilbert is a funny man. If you don't know, he thinks he's funny. Sometimes he says things for laughs, and I don't know if he's serious or not. I know his personality. I know his personality rather well, but I don't know if he's serious or if this was for clickbait. Either way, I hate it. It's heartbreaking to me. We will play you some of what he had to say. We're also talking about Joe Budden. I mentioned this the other day. He was on his podcast with his podcast mates, including one Melissa Ford, who is a former video vixen girl, but she's now a part of this podcast. And he says something calling women the B word, and nobody jumped in. You see a bunch of grown men, but like it was just kind of crazy. It was kind of crazy. We'll let you hear it. Andy, you did me such a solid one by he cleaned up the cursing in it, and so we'll be able to play it for you guys so you can hear for yourself, and you be the judge if this was too much or if this is culture or what we have to say about it. Me personally, I have my own thoughts. I would love to hear what my contributor has to say, and we will get to that on the other side. You are listening to the Raw Report on KBLA Talk 1580. Stay there.
What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Lil Real Howery, and right now you're listening to KBLA Talk 1580. That's right. The Raw Report.
You're inside the Raw Report with Robin Ayers on KBLA Talk 1580.
All I need is one mic.
With a KBLA Talk 1580 editorial, I'm Tavis Smiley. Just a few short months ago, California Attorney General Rob Bonta filed 11 felony charges against Diana Turan, an assistant district attorney for Los Angeles County. The charges allege that Turan unlawfully accessed confidential computer data, including police officer files in 2018, and continued to use them after joining the DA's office in 2021. Ironically, Turan, who is now on administrative leave, oversaw the Public Integrity Division, responsible for handling high-profile cases of police misconduct and public corruption, including the charges brought against LA City Council member Karen Price last June. To be sure, the case against Price has raised plenty of eyebrows. Indeed, one noted legal scholar has said publicly, and I quote, "Everything about this prosecution reeks," close quote. Could A.G. Bonta, with aspirations to become California governor, be punishing Turan for her role in D.A. George Gascon's police accountability agenda to curry favor with police unions? Could D.A. Gascon be using the case against Price to showcase his tough stance on crime and political corruption as he vies to retain his seat as D.A.? Honestly, I have no idea, but here's what I know for sure. Karen Price has been elected and re-elected by thousands of voters, mostly black and brown, who stand to be further disenfranchised if this matter is not handled correctly, which is why it matters to us at KBLA Talk 1580. When the prosecutor is being prosecuted, it seems to me that at the very least, there ought to be a thorough, top-to-bottom, independent review of all cases under Diana Turan's purview to ensure that none of these cases have been tainted. Justice and fundamental fairness demand no less, if public trust truly matters. And I hope it does. For KBLA Talk 1580, I'm Tavis Smiley. We welcome your feedback.
Looks like Bobby needs a ride again.
Grab the keys. Let's take our auntie to the swap meet. Grab the keys.
Whether you're giving rides or hauling gear, do it all in a Chevy SUV. Head to your local Chevy dealer, where well-qualified buyers get 1.9% financing on all 2024 Malibu, Colorado, Blazer, Equinox, Trailblazer, and Traverse limited models. Chevrolet, together, let's drive.
1.9% APR for 36 months. Monthly payment is $28.60 for every $1,000 you finance. Example down payment 15.8%. Must finance with GM Financial. Some customers may not qualify. Not available with lease and some other offers. Take new retail delivery by 7/1/24.
We're thrilled to announce that the Dear Future Wifey podcast is now available on the Urban One Podcast Network. This show, hosted by Latiris R. Whitfield, explores the journey of discovering and rediscovering love and relationships. With over 500,000 subscribers on YouTube, Dear Future Wifey has become a prototype for discussions about love and relationships. Learn how to rediscover love, heal, and have faith in relationships. Go to urbanonepodcast.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
If we're the ones disproportionately impacted by these climate catastrophes,
Why should we be silent?
turning up the volume all year long on the climate conversation for KBLA Talk 1580.
Are you wet shaving? You'll get razor bumps.
Nah, Pops. I'm good with Gillette Skin Guard. How long you been growing that beard Mama hates anyway?
Since 77. I shaved and got ingrown so bad.
That's why I use the Gillette Skin Guard razor, face scrub, shave gel, and moisturizer. So I don't have to worry about new razor bumps or shaving irritation.
Gillette Skin Guard, huh? Your mama's gonna love this one.
The best a man can get keeps getting better with Gillette Skin Guard. Buy now at a retailer near you.
Giving you your daily dose of entertainment and celebrity news.
You're inside the Rob Report.
With Robin Ayers on KBLA Talk 1580.
And I am in conversation tonight with the lovely Whitley Yates. It's so good to have you back on the Rob Report. How are you today?
I'm so happy to be on the Raw Report.
You know, I can only imagine. You have been so busy. By the way, I want to congratulate you for all that you've been doing, all that you're up to. I know this is your season. This is your world. Politics. Yeah, the world of politics is your world. Do you want to give any insight, any updates on what's been going on with you?
Nope. If you want to hear my political thoughts, catch me on MSNBC 6 p.m. on Sunday.
Very, very nice. Okay, well, good. No, I just not even getting into politics. This is not a show about politics. Just about, you are you currently like recurring on a particular show?
Yes,
okay.
I'm reoccurring on the show called The Rising by The Hill, discussing political items of the day. 'Tis the season. I hope everybody is active and engaged on what is going on, because if it's not happening for you, it's happening to you.
Ooh wee. Well, I know that to be true. Yeah, I mentioned that to say, because it's been a lot going on and everybody's been feeling the heat and the pressure a little bit more, turning up. This has got to be a little bit more refreshing for you to join into the show where we're talking entertainment and a little bit, looser, right?
I love it. I'm like, oh, let's not talk about politics.
I know. Trust
Yeah.
me when I say I will not be going down that direction. I want everybody to follow. That's why I was asking for updates as in terms of, you and what you're up to. But I'm glad that you did, so everybody can follow you. As you know, Gilbert Arenas, former NBA player and the baby daddy of one of my friends, a good friend of mine. I've been around Gilbert a lot. I know his personality. I know when he says things in jest. I know that, but kind of even behind closed doors a little bit in the comfort of their home, how he is and what he sounds like and things like that. And I kind of get the sense that he is sort of the same person, which is on his podcast and when he's a guest on other people's podcasts, he went a little bit too far. Not that this is the first time. I'll be honest. Gilbert Arenas says things sometimes that are a bit polarizing in my opinion. This is no different. He is commenting on the recent basketball game in which South Sudan and Team USA, they played against each other, and according to him, it went too far. They were almost getting ready to win, and at the last moment, Team USA wound up taking it away. But this is what Gilbert Arenas had to say, a little bit of what he had to say about the other team.
We got the males almost lost to some Africans. Yeah, we almost lost to them. And the king had to save. The king had to save us. I know the LeBron haters are mad. We almost lost to the Ahi tribe. This is crazy. Man, Embiid over there throwing the game. He throwing the game for his cousins. We're supposed to be losing to Air up there. Come on, man. Cool Runnings. We're not supposed to lose to the Cool Runnings team. They don't even have shoes. They get their shoes from America. We got to ship them shoes. They don't even have basketball rims, dog. Manu Bull, I seen he had to walk, an hour and a half to go shoot basketball. We losing to people who don't even, they got baskets in the back. They shooting on peach baskets in dirt, no shoes.
I mean, just it's horrendous to me. It's horrendous to me. I hope everybody feels the same way, but if you don't, I'd love to hear about it. Whitley, before I get to your comments, I'd love to, because I definitely want to hear what you have to say. Jay West is on the line calling from New York. He has some comments about Gilbert Arenas. Let's take a call from Jay West. Hey to you, Jay.
Hey, Robin, how you doing?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
Well, I'm doing great.
Good.
So the Gilbert thing, here's the thing. The U.S. team lost in 2004 to Puerto Rico. Mm-hmm. And his commentary, if you hear it in this whole context, he's more making fun of our interpretation of foreign teams and that our team wasn't that good. They didn't take it seriously. He's pointing out how hungry the other teams are and what they have to go through versus what these guys get. They got LeBron James got a chamber to cool his body off, and these guys got $1 million trainers. And these other teams around the world, they have a view of that they don't have the same things, and they're not as good. And they found out that's not accurate. The world is caught up, and I think his method of saying it was wrong, but his meaning behind it was not wrong. Because he's saying that team was hungry and our team was not, when you hear it in this full context.
Yeah, I understand that, and I actually appreciate that insight. I walked away from listening to his comments with that context, with the same context, meaning I didn't have to hear the entire thing, but I understood that probably what is underlying there is him meaning these people are hungry and they don't even have this, that, and the other that Team USA has. I got that, but
they do. That's the crazy part. The view, the perception from the sports fans, or even the way the players look at it, is we're just going to come in, put the team together, and run away with it. And that's not the case. The men's teams around the world have caught up, and it's obvious because they're winning by 10 points and 12 points. They may have had one blowout. The teams are in the same league now. It's not 1992 anymore, and I think that is what he was more highlighting. His way of doing it was absolutely wrong, but his meaning behind it, when you hear the full context of it, is, you guys are not taking it seriously.
Got you. Well, I definitely appreciate that, and the context behind it. You sound like someone who probably follows Gilbert, or at least listens to him in its entirety. So we definitely appreciate that. And I'm glad that we took your call before we went to Whitley. So thank you for the call, Jay West. You can stay on the line if you have more, if you want to respond.
I will definitely stay on.
Okay,
yeah.
Sounds good. Whitley, let me go to you. Now that we hear, and I don't know if you are like me, whereas I don't know if it's because I feel like I kind of know his voice. I don't know if you walked away with that same context, or were you just off the rip like, nah, this is wrong. What are your thoughts about what he said?
I feel like I'm about to gobble Gilbert up because here's my thing. If your team, the team that you played on, the team that you're a part of, doesn't perform well, and then you make a joke at the expense of the other team that almost beat you, and then you personify the stereotypes specifically of Africans being poor, they don't have shoes, they got to get their shoes from us, and blah, blah, blah. You're part of the problem. Like, you can make a joke that doesn't have to be at the expense of a group that makes the stereotypes about what they say about Africa and Africans more prevalent. And I don't think he did that. And maybe he needs to take the shoes away from Team USA so that they can be hungry and catch up to South Sudan.
Okay.
Maybe it's the luxuries. It just sounded very first world.
Yeah.
It was a very first world perspective. And I don't think we should be laughing at those when we live in one of the most privileged countries ever.
Ooh.
Like,
I hear you. I definitely hear you. I'm leaning towards what Willie's
colonizer behavior. It's giving colonizer behavior.
It's true, and it's very interesting because a lot of commenters were saying the same type of thing. Like, we're doing what's done to us, oftentimes, and he fell right into that. Andy, I don't know how you feel about it, but I'll give you an opportunity to respond very quickly, Jay West, if you want to.
Yes, absolutely. Again, you are 100% right with how he said it and what he said. But, I mean, I think the world found out Sudan is not third world, and they had shoes and they can ball. So, I think that was where his heart was, not where his words were.
I hear you. I'm asking y'all. Yeah, clearly, because they almost took Team USA out. Yeah, exactly. I definitely appreciate the call, Jay West. I'm going to ask you guys over here inside of our YouTube chat, was Gilbert Arenas just speaking in jest? Was it just a joke? Or, and is it not too serious? Either, yeah, he's just being silly. Don't put too much on it. Or, you know what? Being said in jest or not, it was wrong. I'm asking you guys how you feel about it. I'm gonna leave this poll up here right now because I'm very interested to understand, because these are two different perspectives right here. Even Whitley, what you had to say versus Jay West, what he had to say, two different perspectives. Although we all agree it wasn't nice, it wasn't good, it was wrong. He's at least given some insight behind it. I'm gonna leave this poll up here. We'll talk about that. We're also gonna get into this other conversation about Joe Budden, because that one really set me off. We'll talk about that on the other side. Right now, though, we've got news, traffic, and sports. You are listening to The Raw Report on KBLA Talk 1580. Stay there.
What's up, people? It's your boy Harmony H. Money Samuels, and I'm here on The Raw Report with Robin Ayers on KBLA Talk 1580. What's up?
More of The Raw Report with Robin Ayers when we come forward.
I'm Amber Payton. Here's the latest on the Black Information Network. Top Democrats are officially endorsing Kamala Harris for president. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer and Black House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries made the announcement, saying Harris is ready to lead the nation.
Since President Biden's announcement, we've seen the Democratic Party swiftly coalesce behind Vice President Kamala Harris.
The two leaders also praised President Biden's selfless decision to exit the race. New York City will be rolling out new scanner technology by the end of the week that will flag guns at subway entrances. Mayor Eric Adams, who is black, says a company called Evolve will bring in metal detectors by Friday as part of a pilot program to help make the subway system safer. It's unclear which subway entrances will have them, but they don't require anyone stopping or waiting in line. Critics have voiced privacy concerns and think they will add to delays in getting into the system. That's the latest. I'm Amber Payton on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
Enjoy your evening and drive safe. A crash in Anaheim Hills is in two right lanes of the 241 North before the 91 freeway, and watch for a backup up to 25 minutes running stopped from Windy Ridge Toll Plaza. In Roland Heights on the 60 East before Nogales Street, an accident blocks the right lane with heavy traffic that continues from Azusa Avenue. Sherman Oaks has a stall on the right shoulder of the 405 North before the 101, and watch for a 45-minute traffic jam from Santa Monica Boulevard. And in Westminster, an accident has been moved to the right shoulder of the 405 North after Golden West Street, and heavy traffic continues from Magnolia.
The Wendy's $5 Biggie Bag is the GOAT of fast food deals for a lot of reasons. Here are 4 of them: a junior bacon cheeseburger, nuggies, fries, and a drink. It's also just $5. And unlike the other guys, it's not going away after a month. Get out there and get the bag. The Wendy's Biggie Bag. U.S. price and participation may vary.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
After media day sessions for the upcoming college football season in the SWAC and MEAC conferences, Alabama State has been picked to win the SWAC title. North Carolina Central was picked to win the MEAC. NC Central is coming off a 9-3 season last year and a first-round appearance in the NCAA Division I AA playoffs. Quite a few HBCU football games will be on national TV this season. We'll let you know each week how and where you can watch the top games. The Dodgers and Angels are back in action tonight. The Dodgers are at home against the Giants. The Angels are in Seattle. From the Strange Connection Department, California Governor Gavin Newsom is doing a weekly podcast with former NFL running back Marshawn Beast Mode Lynch. The podcast is called Politicking, although Lynch said it's his preference not to talk politics. The podcast is a mix of sports, entertainment, and what's trending. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
Follow the leader. KBLA Talk 1580. Follow the leader.
Be sure to follow us on Instagram at KBLA 1580.
Follow the leader.
Are you ready?
The station leading the way with exclusive interviews,
Follow the leader.
stimulating conversation, and intellectual discourse that empowers, enlightens, and informs.
Follow the leader.
Follow the leader at KBLA 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
Keep following the leader.
Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader.
We asked seniors how to prevent Medicare scams.
My best advice, if you get a phone call, do not talk to the person. These people are well trained. Don't talk to them.
They don't know me. They're just trying to scam me.
Don't be fooled. Hang up. Just hang up.
Never give out your Medicare number.
They're going to get your number to put in a false claim.
If I get a call from someone, I don't pick up the phone. And should I pick up the phone and they ask for information, then I hang up.
How do you detect Medicare fraud?
Just like I check my credit card statements, I check my Medicare statements monthly.
Scammers can get a hold of your number, order medical devices through your account, and you're not even going to know about it if you don't look at your statement.
Check your statement every month.
If you get your statement and you see something that you know you did not have done, you report it.
Call your senior Medicare Patrol.
To report Medicare fraud, call the Senior Medicare Patrol at 855-613-7080.
KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. Single Moms Planet is a nonprofit organization dedicated to uplifting under-resourced single mom business owners and working mothers nationwide. Single Moms Planet offers comprehensive programs of financial literacy, business development, mentorship, and entrepreneurial training. They provide education, accountability, and hope. Single Moms Planet was founded by model, TV personality, and producer Nefertiri Plessy. Nefertiri felt firsthand the challenges that face single moms as she was raised by a working single mother. She learned that the most disadvantaged group in the United States are single mom families. According to the U.S. Census, 30% live under the poverty line. So she decided to do something about it, along with co-founder Cole Patterson. Their goal is to end the poverty cycle in single mother households through education, opportunity, and networking, providing family and child enrichment programs for under-resourced single-parent families. Single Moms Planet serves over 10,000 single moms and their children each year. Studies show that business development and financial literacy provide a positive environment for children and families, exposing them to new possibilities and opportunities. To attend one of their fun events, make a donation, or get more information, or if you need help as a single mom, please visit singlemomsplanet.org. That's singlemomsplanet.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Keeping you informed about what's really going on.
Who's got next?
And what not to miss in entertainment. You're listening to the Rob Report on KBLA Talk 1580.
Here it is, a groove slightly transformed. Just a bit of a break from the norm. Just a little something to break the monotony of all that hardcore dance that has gotten to be a little bit out of control. It's cool to dance, but what about a groove that soothes and moves romance? Give me a soft, subtle mix. And if it ain't broke, then don't try to fix it.
You were inside the Raw Report on KBLA Talk 1580. This one here is never gonna get old. How old is this song? This came out in 80. What was it? 91, 92. My goodness. No, I think it was even. Maybe I think you might be right. 90. Wow. This song will never get old. If you're just joining us, welcome on into the Raw Report. We are having a discussion about black men who disrespect. No, I'm just playing. It's not that deep. We are talking about Gilbert Arenas and his disparaging words against South Sudan, the basketball team, after they came very, very close to beating out the Team USA with LeBron James, who kind of came through at the last minute and won for the team. We are also talking about Joe Budden. We're about to get into that conversation. Andy?
Jay West, he said it in the chat. Gilbert's entire podcast is saying the most ignorant things, outlandish things. I mean, ever since Gilbert was in the league, you know what I'm saying, he would just say some off-the-wall type stuff. So, at least for me, anything that he says, even if it's basketball related, I take with a grain of salt. I just don't take him as a serious person at all. So, you know, his comments about South Sudan, although there might have been like a little bit of truth of it, you know what I'm saying? It still wasn't the best thing to say.
What was true, though?
I mean, just some of the conditions that they probably, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just learned that they don't have any indoor gyms in South Sudan, right? So it wasn't a cool thing, obviously, for him to say. And quite frankly, some of the South Sudanese players, they got NBA players in there. You know what I mean? So it was an ignorant thing to say.
Yeah, I think we could all agree on that. Right now, the poll stands at most of you saying, yeah, it was wrong. 67% say whether it was in jest or not, it was wrong. Others of you say he was just being silly and maybe just not take it so seriously. My problem is even if most of us won't take what he says or people like Gilbert seriously, he still has a large platform. And I feel like you have to be... It's like, yes, I do believe in the freedom of speech, but I also believe that you should be responsible if you have access to a microphone in addition to having a larger platform. That's just what I think. And then, you know, I even wrote this comment here that it's interesting. Podcasts, everybody has podcasts nowadays, and nobody has to be a thought leader. Nobody has to be a thought leader anymore. They can just have opinions, and that gets the clicks, that gets the ratings. And so I don't know that that's going to change anytime soon. Unfortunately, I personally believe if you have access to a microphone, and that especially paired with a larger platform, you just got to be careful. You wanted to jump in? Go ahead and say it, Andy. Go ahead and say it.
Like you said, everybody has a podcast. I'm not expecting everybody to be some sort of scholar. I'm not expecting some of these individuals to do their research. I think you have to take it for what it is. Gil's Arena, I'm not going on there for social commentary. I'm not going on there for politics. I'm more so going there for sports. Entertainment. Yeah. And even with his basketball takes, I'm still taking what he's saying with a grain of salt.
I hear that. We're on the line with Whitley Yates. Let me ask you, Whitley, do you feel like, I mean, I maybe know the trajectory of your own career, but do you think you'd ever start a podcast of your own?
I've thought about it. I've thought about it quite a bit, starting my own podcast. But then there's so many different podcasts out there, and so many people are talking. I do not want to be an echo in any space. I'd rather be a voice. And so until I can craft, create, and cultivate my own lane, then I think I'm going to keep my thoughts in my head so I don't end up like Gilbert Arenas. And I'm going to be honest, if he was talking about the Russian team, I wouldn't care. If he was talking about a non-melanated group of people, I don't think I would mind at all. But it's something about the fact that they look like us where I feel like not too much on our cousins from over there. Not too much on them. Like, you're doing a little much. And then I thought, if this was said on a Russian podcast by Wahites, how would we feel?
Absolutely. And that is, I'm telling you, you nailed it. So many other people think the same thing. It's just probably more so that they too are black. They are also black. So it hits a little bit differently. I hear you, though. I will say this before we move on to Joe Budden. If you ever do start a podcast, I think it would be very, very good. I think it would be entertaining. I think it would be insightful. All the things. You'd have to figure out what you want to talk about. I do understand you wanting to be a voice and not an echo. But, you know, keep that in the front of your mind, Whitley. Keep it in the front of your mind. I tune in. I'd promote
Thank
it.
you for pouring in to be black lady. Thank you, black woman.
Absolutely. Let's go ahead and jump right into Joe Budden. He has a podcast as well. And he recently had a couple of guests on his show. His guests are from Earn Your Leisure. Their names are Rashad Bilal and Troy Millings. These guys are great. These guys really, I love their podcast. Their podcast, Earn Your Leisure, it really is, it's intended to be a mix of college, business class, and pop culture. They talk sports, entertainment, but they also talk entrepreneurship, financial literacy, all of those things. And every year they have an event down in Atlanta called Invest Fest. And when they went on to Joe Budden's podcast, whom, by the way, it's Joe Budden. He has 3 other people there with him on camera. And it's an entertaining podcast. So they talk a lot of entertainment, silly things as well, lifestyle, culture, all of that. But when they talked about this Invest Fest, Joe Budden, he says this. Can we just go ahead and get into the clip? Let's listen to what he has to say.
I want to come to that dinner that y'all do with the in Atlanta after Invest Fest is over. Yeah. I want to come to the dinner.
He look mad at me. Like that. He mad at me. Yo, I'm just telling you where I want to come. Crazy, son. They invited me to that last time, but I ain't have to. It wasn't right. We were year invite me to the dinner.
Are you coming to Atlanta? You gonna be in Invest Fest?
Yeah,
don't do that. We want to go to the dinner.
Going to my fancy football. This time I'll bring an outfit for the dinner with the that y'all host every year after y'all get away from Steve Harvey and them.
Ladies,
you know the one I'm talking about.
Ladies.
You know the one I'm talking about.
Gotcha. Ladies.
Yeah, I'm not coming for the ladies.
No? I'm going for the...
I'm...
Big difference. I'm going for the
magnificent.
Okay, in case you guys who are listening, you couldn't catch on to it or haven't seen the original, when it's bleeped out, he is calling them B words. He's like, I'm coming for the B's, right? Let me just jump to you. Your thoughts on this. Let me just say this really quickly. When I watched that podcast, because what I'm starting to do more of is go more in depth. I'm trying not to take the clips from social media because that's something that I complain about oftentimes, that we don't get it in its full context. So I tried to go to that entire, it's a 3-hour plus long podcast episode. So I didn't watch the full thing, but I got the idea. I understand how Joe Budden, it's his name. He sort of runs the show. You have his podcast mates who are sitting there with him. To me, it almost seems like he's running the show. And if Joe says jump, they're asking how high. And so them sort of feeding off of him and what he says, to me, that's what it's like. It's like, you know, the big guy over here is running the ship. And so anything he says is funny. Give me your thoughts on this. And do you think first of all, similar to what we were asking about Gilbert, it's not that serious? These are just these guys who are being funny, calling women out their name, but what's new? Or is that more so disappointing to you as well?
I don't like Joe Budden, so I'm biased.
Okay.
I think he's terrible, bad built, bald head. Okay, listen, I think that this is like barbershop talk that has been propagated on mainstream channels. Mm-hmm. I think the ignorant things that Joe Budden says is how he makes his money and gets his coins. Mm-hmm. This is my issue with the people on the show. When you're relying on Joe Budden for a check, you can't check him. So
that's the thing. Yeah.
They're not even in a position to check him because he's their boss. So they're bought and paid for. Mm-hmm. And so it kind of puts everyone in an uncomfortable position because you just got to kind of like laugh and be like, oh gosh, my mom's not watching. And pretend as though that behavior is okay. But I'm honestly not surprised to hear this from Joe Budden. He's been accused of lots of treacherous, domestic, violent, heinous acts against women. And he is usually one of the top people espousing ignorance through his podcast platform. So I am never surprised when I go to the circus and see a clown.
Well said. Andy, let me ask you though real quick, because you did you agreed. I saw your reaction when Whitley talked about this is barbershop talk. I mean, this is how it is. You agreed with it. You don't think it's to be taken too seriously.
Not at all. I mean, I understand you as a woman receiving, what they're saying, and how he's referring to women. I can see how that can be an issue, but this is me growing up around my boys. That's not me saying that, but this is like a typical conversation that you hear amongst dudes. You would actually hear this type of conversation on other podcasts, quite frankly. So it didn't come off like he was trying to attack women.
It didn't? Okay.
No, I mean just his reference to you. You know what I'm saying? He did make a difference too. He was like, I ain't trying to go over there where the women are at. He trying to go where the bees are at.
What? Go ahead, break that down for us real quick in a barbershop kind of way.
I think you know the difference.
What's the difference?
Tupac didn't mention it.
One got
Tupac didn't mention it.
One is natural.
No. I think it's more of an attitude and the way they carry themselves or whatnot. You know what I mean? Maybe not as respectful.
Okay.
You feel me? But that's just a perspective. That doesn't mean that's what it is all the way across around. But with Joe Budden, man, I don't take anything he says seriously either.
Very interesting. Let's continue this conversation on the other side. Whitley, let's keep you around because we got to hear more of how this is broken down. What is a woman versus a bee? Because apparently that's a thing. We'll talk about it more on the other side.
It's just like an N-word in a man.
Okay. We'll talk about it on the other side. You're listening to KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Avery Wilson, and you're watching It's Robin Ayers.
You're inside the Raw Report with Robin Ayers on KBLA Talk 1580.
Tips to help improve basic steps for building a budget in 2024. Building a budget can help you achieve and reach your financial goals. With a budget, you can keep track of your spending, avoid and get out of debt, limit overspending, pay bills on time, and build solid savings habits. What's the best way to get started? Figure out how much to set aside for expenses, like rent, mortgage, bills, groceries, and entertainment. Understanding your past financial habits can help you make the proper adjustments for your budget. Adjusting to a budget can take time as you work to find the right balance, but keep working on it. For more financial health tips, visit chase.com or stop by a local branch. This segment is sponsored by JP Morgan Chase & Company.
KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 believes in community empowerment. LA's 99 neighborhood councils form the grassroots level of the Los Angeles city government. The system was created to connect LA's diverse communities to City Hall. While neighborhood council board members are volunteers, they are also public officials elected to office by the members of their community. Neighborhood councils advocate on issues like homelessness, housing, land use, emergency preparedness, public safety, parks, transportation, and sustainability. They also provide local expertise on the delivery of city services to their various communities. Neighborhood councils are open to participation by anyone who is a part of the fabric of daily life in said community. This includes those who live, work, or own property or a business. If you are interested in stepping up to join your local neighborhood council, visit www.empowerla.org. That's empowerla.org. It's time to think globally, but act locally. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Around here, we don't believe in victimhood.
We believe in raising our
voices, amplifying black voices in the climate conversation. We're KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580 invites you to join us in our climate justice campaign partner, LA City Council member Curran D. Price Jr., as we celebrate the grand unveiling of the South LA Greenway, Saturday, August 3rd, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Augustus Hawkins Nature Park, 5790 Compton Avenue in the city of Los Angeles. Join us for a green and healthy festival with free food, planting activities, tree adoptions, nature walking tours, Zumba, yoga, sound baths, and more. It's summer. Time to get outside. We look forward to seeing you at the dedication of the South LA Greenway, Saturday, August 3rd, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Augustus Hawkins Nature Park, 5790 Compton Avenue in the city of Los Angeles. Caring about the climate, caring about the community, LA City Council member Curran D. Price Jr. and KBLA Talk 1580.
Giving you your daily dose of entertainment and celebrity news.
You're inside the Rob Report.
With Robin Ayers on KBLA Talk 1580.
Now, Andy done started something. I'm just kidding, Andy. We are having this conversation about Joe Budden. He called women out of their names, calling them the B words. No one on his podcast. He's sitting there with a number of people. No one stopped him. No one stepped in. There was one of the guys from Earn Your Leisure did try to correct him in saying ladies, and he said, nah, that's not who I'm talking about. I'm talking about the bees. I want to see the bees when I go out to Atlanta. He's sitting there, 40-something-year-old. He's going to be 44 years old next month, Joe Budden. He's sitting there with a 47-year-old woman, Melissa Ford. She's sitting in the midst of all men. No one says a thing to him. But to Whitley's point, how can you correct your boss? So he is sunning them to a certain degree. But before on the other side, Andy was talking about how there is a difference between women and bees. Let's see if we can finish this conversation. We got a couple of calls. Let's go ahead and get to Forrest from Compton, California. Hey, Forrest.
Hey, what's up, y'all? How you doing?
Pretty good. What are your thoughts?
First of all, not everybody thinks like Joe Budden. Joe Budden is he does need to grow up. I just wanted to explain what I think Andy was trying to let you guys know is that when you're in a barber shop and the male conversation is going on and it's supposed to be our safe space, not everybody's going to talk like that, but you don't want to be the one in the male safe space that's trying to correct all your boys in the middle of the barbershop. And I believe that's why people didn't really say anything. Because I've been in a situation like that, and I did like the other guy. I said, well, that's when we used to call women honeys. I said, you mean the honeys? And then the guy was like, no, don't you mean bees? And I was like, no, I said, I meant honeys. But at the same time, like I said, I left it at that because I didn't want to go through all the trying to, make corrections and things like that. And that's, I believe, what he was saying is that not that every guy in the thing doesn't necessarily believe that, or they might chuckle or whatever, but
I hear
that's
that.
what it is.
I hear that, and I appreciate that, Forrest. The difference here is that they're not in a private barbershop, and in addition to it, I mean, it could be barbershop talk, but they're on camera. This is going out. This is not going away.
Oh, I believe it.
Yeah, so, I mean, I hear that point, but that would be my pushback. Andy?
Ladies, y'all listen to Too Short, right? What's his favorite word? I'm going to leave it at that.
Okay. Forrest, thank you so much for the call. Let's go ahead and get to Leroy before we get back to Whitley quickly. Hey, Leroy from Inglewood, California. How's it going?
Hey, great. Can you hear me clearly?
We do, yes.
Yes. Y'all need to stop teaming up against y'all allies like they the enemies when they were acknowledging that he wasn't talking about y'all. Because y'all are not what he talking about, because y'all ain't what he looking for. He looking for the mother of the children that Robin Harris took to Fun World. He's looking for the characters that Samora describes when we fall out laughing at her honesty on stage. He's looking for the sexy red city girl imitators, okay? He ain't looking for you, Mrs. Yates. He ain't looking for you. So y'all know who we ain't looking for. So stop teaming up against your ally and as though he's the enemy, trying to make him defend Joe Budden's ignorance. You know better.
You got the men in here going wild, just to let you know, Leroy. Thank you so much for the phone call. Whitley, I'll throw it back to you. Andy is our ally, and we should not be teaming up against him, according to Leroy.
Captain Saber... Is that what they're saying? that is our role? This is what I'm saying. If we're talking about promiscuous women that like to go to Pound Town, downtown with their rounds, if that is what we're talking about, you have to understand that our culture has shifted, and those are the ladies now. Show me a female that's on the scene, that's rapping, that's doing any of this, that doesn't exemplify that behavior. And so the problem is that we get in the crosshairs, the ladies, get in the crosshairs when people don't know the difference, because our culture has changed so much to where everybody thinks that you're promiscuous. Now, you telling me that you can tell by my wonderful commentary that I'm not a Sexy Red or a Tatiana or a Sukiana, but in real life, when he says that and a little girl hears it, or when he says that and someone else hears it, they will not differentiate. They will just assume black women are bees.
Oh, she don't get
Specifically the ones that invest.
She don't get no mic drop with that. She don't get no mic drop. Thank you, because that is a mic drop moment. This is definitely a part 2. We have to continue this conversation another time, and Whitley, I will have you back to join me on this conversation because I think it's more extended than what we're giving it. There's layers to this. Right now I have the poll over here in our YouTube, and most of you, 92% of you, say that somebody should have stood up. Somebody should have said something to Joe Budden. And I feel like even if you didn't go against him and correct him per se, you still could have, like that guy. Troy Millings only said that because he is not a part of that show. Joe Budden is not his boss. But even like he said it, the way that he said it, it was sort of a friendly correction. I felt like somebody else could have done that, and most of you here agree with me. This is definitely a conversation that we will continue. According to the comments, you all have a lot to say. Whitley, thank you again so much for joining us on this show. And please, if you are available, we got to have you back to finish this conversation. Where can everybody keep up with you online?
Everyone can find me at Whitley J. Yates on Instagram and Twitter.
Okay. All right. Well, we appreciate you again. Enjoy the rest of your night, and we will be talking very, very soon.
Thank you.
All right, guys. We have to have another conversation. I think we've opened up another category, another topic. This is a subtopic. What is a bee versus a woman? I mean, goodness. There's more to talk about here, clearly. I appreciate you, Raw Squad, for coming through and, all of your engagement. You guys know that Zoe Williams, the voice of reason, is up next, so you cannot change the station. We'll be back tomorrow, me myself, with another conversation. I look forward to it, and I appreciate all of you guys. My name is Robin Ayers, and remember, today and every day forward, be a blessing.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Amber Payton. Here's the latest on the Black Information Network. Lawmakers in the House are forming a bipartisan task force to investigate the attempted assassination of former President Trump. House Speaker Mike Johnson and Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries, who is black, released a joint statement announcing the House will vote to establish the task force later this week. The group will include 7 Republicans and 6 Democrats. Lawmakers said the group will have subpoena power and will, quote, move quickly to find the facts, ensure accountability, and make certain such failures never happen again, end quote. Vice President Kamala Harris now has enough delegates to receive the official Democratic presidential nomination. On Monday, Harris received a flurry of endorsements and secured over 1,900 delegate endorsements.